different prep lists and produce prep lists. That's where keep this version that needs to be isolated from everything else.
Hey guys, Mr. Knife Fanatic here, and today we have a review of the Masakage Shimo 240mm Gyoto. Masakage Shimo is my favorite Masakage series. These are really attractive, have an extremely thin grind behind the edge, they perform really well, and have a really sharp edge right out of the box, just like all the Masakage knives. So as usual, here's the specs and cutting performance. We have Shirogami number 2 or Hitachi white number 2 core, 61 to 63 Rockwell. White number 2 is slightly tougher than white number 1, takes a great refined edge, nice steep edge, and sharpens real fast. Shimo Damascus finish. Shimo means frosted. If you can see, it's a nice frosted looking finish. Really attractive, really uniform. Mind you, this is a completely handmade knife. You could argue it's a custom blade. And this is reactive though. This is a mild steel on here, so this is going to patina. Some people prefer that, some people don't. Just something to keep in mind. Octagonal handle, Packwood ferrule. This is a Magnolia handle. These are the stock Isaiah Schroeder handles for chef knives to go. Great option to rehandle these if not. It's really smooth, warm feeling in the hand, and great for all hand sizes. This is not a small handle, but definitely not a large one. See, it fits the knife, very good looking. Exact measurements of these handles actually done by Steve Gamache on another video. Check those if you want that. Check that level of detail. So here we are. The edge length 247, 7mm over the advertised length. Nothing wrong with that. Actually, Steve's knife was slightly different. Mind you, like I said, these are basically custom knives. They're going to be small variances, maybe 1 to 2mm here or there. But basically he wants to nail the grind more importantly than the exact specs. You know, you might lose a millimeter here or there. Really, once you're over 240mm, you know, if you miss a millimeter here or there, that's perfectly normal. This is a handmade, handcrafted item. You would rather the grind be perfectly on than some, you know, meaningless numbers here. Not completely meaningless, but you know what I mean. 52 millimeters tall. This is medium to medium tall. Actually, I like this height. 50 and a little over 50 is what I prefer. This might be tall for some users. You can see there, I have a medium hand. You get great knuckle clearance, but not too tall. 3.05 millimeters right out of the spine here. We take the little decorative coin off. Mind you, actually I think that's 3mm right over the heel, probably a little bit thicker coming right out of the spine. That is very common on hand-forged knives. But you can see it tapers down and gets down into 2mm as you're at mid-blade here. So you do have a fairly thin blade, especially behind the edge. 170 grams, a very light knife at this length. Here we are. Balance point. Let's see. We are right there. It is probably a little bit in front of your pinch grip. Pinch grip would be a little bit back right there. Okay. 50-50 mid-convex grind, and it gets down to 5/1000ths of an inch behind the edge. I measured that with some good calipers. Basically, this is as thin as you're going to take a chef's knife behind the edge. Any thinner than that, and you compromise the edge integrity. So, yes, it is as good as it gets as far as thinness behind the edge. Love it, love it. And here we are, we're going to test it out. I believe I have an onion somewhere. Here it is. No Mr. Knife Fanatic video would be complete without an onion first. You know this. It's been a while since I've done a video, so if I'm ever going to cut my hand off on screen, now's going to be the time. Here we are. Check it out. It did fall away. Mind you, it was up in the air. Let's just see, but splits fine to 50-50 mid-convex. Pushes ingredients apart so far. Let's just see. Get rid of that. And just like the last Shimo, wow, flips through with no trouble. That's the thinness behind the edge doing that. That is butter, butter. This is as good as it gets as far as grind goes. Yet again, the Shimo series just really impresses me. Nice fine dice there, for the most part. A mostly fine dice, but effortless. This is the weight of the knife. Just chop those up and get them out of the way. Here we are. I guess we'll go ahead and just chop this so you can see it is a big knife, very lightweight, 170 grams. This weighs nothing really, so that's a featherweight for this size. And just going to show you this. I'll show you some paper thin slices there. Excellent. Very minimal sticking for this this finish. This is kind of a matte finish here. Normally those tend to be a little sticky. This one's fairly smooth. Got a little minimal friction to it. As you can see, nothing really sticks that bad at all. There's nothing flying up in the air as I'm chopping. It all stayed on the board in a nice neat pile, something I'm not really known for, right? And here we go. We get a bell pepper and a carrot and try to wrap this video up for you. But basically, I'm just going to show you basic performance of the knife. Very long flat profile here, but you get a nice sweep, so the tip gets in. You actually get about 3.5 inches, maybe even a little more, 3.5, 3.5 to 4 inches off the board, which is plenty tall. Let's see, can just about get over. This is a pretty big bell pepper here. Let's just see, out of the box edge, as we said, is very good on all Masakage knives, as always. There we go. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just kind of open this up a little bit for you. But making a massacre out of this thing, I know, but I really like the mid-convex on this. It still retains plenty thinness, very light knife. It adds to the non-stick. I believe the blacksmith who made this, story behind him is that he wanted to give up making knives because it was so hard at a point. He just somehow persevered and really makes one of my favorite knives on the market now. So kudos to that man for not giving up. See the rocking profile here? That gives you some idea. Just get rid of that. Do some tip draws for you. Easy enough. Chop it off parts with a knife here. Let's see. Chop up to the mid part and then out of the heel. So you can actually chop with all of this here. Once you start getting past there on a larger ingredient, you might start missing a little bit. And last but not least, yes, that was right, a carrot. About 2-inch cut or so. And you can tell it just goes right through this without much trouble. It glued itself to the blade a touch. Let's see. Definitely slides through this carrot, like maybe easier than anything I've used. And the extreme thinness behind the edge, 5/1000ths of an inch behind the edge, is something very precise grind on it. You can see the steering is straight. I'm not known for cutting those very straight. So, not all the time anyway. We're going to finish our little mini brunoise as in traditional fashion. Or my attempt at it anyhow. Goes through the carrot like butter. And I'll just finish this up. But a knife this light, but very blade forward, is still going to give you great chopping power if you like to chop. This is really thin behind the edge. You wouldn't want to chop too hard, nor would you ever need to chop too hard with a knife like this. It just flies through everything. It really is going to impress you. If you have not used a knife with a paper thin grind behind the edge, and you're looking for something Damascus, they really don't get much better than this one. Like I said, keep in mind, it does have a reactive finish on it. Really hasn't started to patina yet. It will turn a little bit brown on you. You can add meat or bananas or mustard and vinegar. You can put coffee grinds with designs on it if you'd like to customize your patina. There are countless great ways to customize a carbon steel knife. But anyhow, great knife here again, guys. Masakage Shimo, one of my favorite of the Masakage series. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll have some more videos shortly, actually. And my heart is racing at the moment. I just hit play again to show you I dropped the knife on a tile floor, first time on video. I want you to notice, no edge damage, no tip damage, no deformation on the knife. My hands are actually shaking a little bit still. I've never dropped one of these knives on the floor, ever. So, there we go. A very well-tempered knife. It took a fall onto a tile floor. So, there you go, guys. One well-made knife. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned and stay sharp.